That being said, we're going to get into the news, ladies. I want to thank you guys for tolerating our nonsense this beginning of the podcast. Here's your news. Every once in a while, the tech industry hits a week where every major story line feels like it's, trying to out chaos the last one. We had
Mhm.
some crazy stuff last week. But this week, like I said, we are in the area where everyone's kind of quietly saying we made a mistake. And the first person we're going to put on the chopping block is Apple, which
Oh
they are
boy.
launching. Yes, they're launching the Apple Creator Studio. This isn't necessarily. I mean, I guess it is kind of a retreat because they used to offer these things as just one time uh, options, right? Like you pay for whatever piece of software it is, and that's all you had to do. But it looks like they're saying, hey, you know what, everybody, we made the mistake. Line must go up. Here's our way to do it. What are your thoughts? Because I know this is a story you wanted to touch upon.
I'm gonna do a little more and touch it. I'm gonna get upset with it a little bit here because you know I get it. Let me break down first what it is for everybody. Let's kind of give it the high level breakdown. Apple Creator Studio. I'm just gonna give you guys 5 seconds to process those 3 words. Apple Creator Studio is Apple's subscription option that starts January 28th. So that's next, nope, not next week, week after next. Starts week after next, $12.99 a month or $129 per year. It gets you the Apple Creative apps. Now, when I say that, you get Final Cut Pro, Apple Motion, you get Logic, you get the GarageBand, you get the Apple version of Pixelmator, that is iPad, I do believe, Pixelmator Pro that they recently purchased. And you also get the Office suite that they offer, which is what is the name of that thing? Apple.
Is it
mm,
iWorker?
Keynote. Yeah, it's Keynote, and then let me look
What
here.
is their Apple suite called?
Yeah, it was on the tip of my tongue. Let's see. You get Keynote numbers and pages. There we go. Keynote numbers and pages. Sorry about that. Well, let me just kind of ease my
iWork. Yeah, you were right.
yeah. Let,
iWork.
let me let me ease my way into this rant. I get it. Somebody sitting in a meeting room somewhere said, "Hey, we need to make up a little bit of money over here." So somebody else said, "Well, why don't we just make a creative suite, throw it out there? $12.99 a month, $129. Oh, that sounds like a great idea. Yeah, people will subscribe to that. Then let's think about that for a minute. If you're a new creator, I get it. You're going to spend lots of money on your Apple device, your Mac Mini, your Studio, your MacBook, whatever. You're going to spend lots of money. And by the time your bank account is drained at the cash register for buying into the Apple ecosystem, that $12.99 or that $129 a year looks pretty good if you're a creator and you want to get your Final Cut, which is usually the reason creators buy the Mac laptops and the Mac desktops to begin with. They want that Final Cut Pro that they've heard so much about, and they want to use that to do their creative work. I get it. But take a look at what Final Cut Pro is. Great linear video editor, great non-linear video editor. The AI options are missing. It's just MIA. You get a few things with creating a mask for putting in a background and a few other small items. You've got nothing there like Canva or the Creative Cloud Pro, to pull in other assets, to create other assets, to create things on the fly. Maybe that's why it's so cheap compared to Creative Cloud. I get it. But eventually, what's going to happen here is this, because Apple has said, we're not going to stop individual sales of these products, meaning you can give Apple $2.99 and get a copy of Final Cut Pro and never pay for it again. They didn't tell you what the rest of the story is likely to be. The same thing Adobe went through. Does everybody remember Adobe CS6? Adobe Creative Studio, I believe it was CS6. When Creative Cloud come out, they said you can still buy CS6. Can you buy CS6 now? No. So what's going to happen here? Apple's going to say, well, we've got millions of people out there using Final Cut Pro and they've paid $299 for it. But we need to milk some more money out of them. So we're just going to start adding our new features to our Creative Studio products. And the only way you're going to get those new features is, guess what? You're going to be told to subscribe to Creator Studio. Well, great. Another subscription, just like we started the podcast.
Full circle.
But guess what? Guess what happens here? You end up paying for 2 subscriptions in a lot of cases because of the lack of features or the lack of crossover of features. You need Adobe Creative Cloud for this over here. You need Final Cut Pro for this over here. And suddenly our YouTubers, our Instagrammers, our TikToks, people like ourselves that have got these side hustles that don't generate any money, or if they generate money, maybe it's not a lot, putting out $50, $60, $75 a month just to be a creative. Well, guess what that's going to do to the independent creator? They're going to stop creating. I don't like the thought of people stopping creating because corporate America has stepped in and said, look, the entry level to be a solid creator is X. If you can't do X, then do the best you can. I get it, Apple. I get what you're doing. I get that you're making it look good. But I want to visit this story 6 months from now, a year from now, and you tell me if it's still $12.99 a month, $129 a year. And if I can still buy my copy of Final Cut Pro standalone for $2.99 and never give Apple another dime for Final Cut Pro, I'd be willing to bet money that I don't have that we're not there next year. By next year, your Apple Creator Suite is a part of your Apple One, and it's bundled all nicely there together, and it's called Apple One Creative or whatever nice name they want to put on it. Well, you have to opt in for the protection for your device. You have to opt in to the iCloud Plus subscriptions. You get it. They just want to drive that subscription cost higher. I don't like it. Doesn't smell good. Doesn't look good. I'm done.
Yeah, I'll keep it short because I let you run long on that one. But I'm going to play a little devil's advocate for Apple. I know everybody hate comments down below, but I see this as, and this is part optimism for the creative spirit, that they are seeing that they are probably mostly being used in more professional settings or semi-professional. You're not the individual creator like you or myself who are doing. I think a lot of those people, and you can see them on YouTube, a lot of these people are using like DaVinci Resolve, or maybe a mix of Canva and Adobe or CapCut or Filmora. I think, and a lot of people are doing, perhaps live streaming / software services like, we use StreamYard, they're using that. So I think what Apple's seeing is that there's been a decline in the amount of individual people that are signing up for Final Cut, but professionals that are, perhaps in Pixar or movie studios or anything like that are using it. And if they can get them from purchasing, because again, they will both purchase one license and then use it for 7 to 10 years. What they're trying to do is turn those people into subscriptions. Meanwhile, everyone else, and again, I say this as a creative spirit, people will create, they won't stop, but they'll figure out new and inventive ways, which is why we had the boom of TikTok and videos where, you have a TikTok creator who basically will take a video that's already been created, superimpose themselves on it and explain in detail about the video or create other ways. They're using their phone. They're, like I said, they're using CapCut. They're using tools that aren't Apple, that aren't super professional, but they're still creating content that millions of people are watching, people will pay for. Doesn't have to be run through Adobe or run through Final Cut. These are things that are just happening on the phone, happening on the tablet really quickly, and still produce content that produces money for that person. I think Apple's saying like, hey, we're not necessarily losing the creative war as far as people using Final Cut. And yes, people use our laptops to create stuff and hone the stuff that they do create. But I think the services for Final Cut are probably down, and they're saying, hey, here's a way to make the line, continue to keep the line going up versus flat or down. So that's my small little rant.